Misha.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. Let me see. Let's give some people some time to
Healing Huddles with
start
Des
joining
and Misha Groove.
before we get started.
Feel the rhythm, let your pain make a move. Share your story, let your heart find its beat. Turn your passion into fire, feel complete.
And I'm gonna share it in our group.
Winds of change blow secrets through the air. Whispers of hope in the love we share. Hands held tight through the music's care. Rooms of courage born from lives laid bare. Healing Huddles with Des and Misha Groove. Feel the rhythm, let your pain make a move. Share your story, let your heart find its beat. Turn your passion into fire, feel complete.
And
Pain
Misha,
isn't the
please feel
end,
free
it's
to
the
share it on
start
your
of
page
new.
as well.
Okay.
I'm just gonna share it with our group. So people
When
know
we
that we're
come
on.
together, we make dreams true.
Okay. So because I'm on my work
In this
computer,
house of light, hope
I
always
have to
renewed.
share it after because I'm on my work laptop, so I'm gonna have to. It won't let me
Okay,
use Facebook
gotcha.
as a block.
Healing Huddles with Des
I'm
and
actually gonna get
Misha
my laptop
Groove.
together this week.
Feel the rhythm, let your pain make a move. Share your story, let your heart find its beat. Turn your passion into fire, feel complete.
Okay. So let's just get started. Let's
Okay.
get started. We're back for another Healing Huddles. I don't know what episode this is. I think it's probably 5 or 4, 5
Yeah.
or 4.
Yeah.
But today we are talking about just our energy field, our aura, our vibration. Um, and I'm very excited to talk about this because I've been saying that all along throughout my healing journey, how I had to keep my vibration high.
Mhm.
But before we start getting into it, I just wanted to say for those of you who are watching right now, um, healing home movement, I just broke it down to an equation, and home equals our bodies. We have to get that right. We got to get things right, our relationship with ourselves right first. And then it equals our family plus our earth. So, my goal is to continue on this healing journey. As a lot of you know, I had a stage 3 breast cancer diagnosis back in July 2022. And just out of that journey, I birthed Healing Home Movement. And so Misha is on here as well to share her journey. We did share both of our journeys on the first episode, but Misha, why don't you tell everybody just briefly what your journey is, like what you're working on right now?
Yeah, sure. So my journey, just to kind of summarize it, about 12 or 13 years ago, I experienced some health issues. The doctors were unsure about what it was, but they were saying that they thought it was an autoimmune disease, maybe lupus. So they ran a lot of tests. I was sick for an entire year, in and out of the hospitals, having just numerous symptoms. They could not figure out what was wrong. And so I made a decision to stop going to the doctor so much and stop, all the prescriptions they wanted me to take. I decided to not do any of that. And I pursued natural healing. I changed my diet, changed my lifestyle, started exercising more, just getting, one with nature and just really focusing on healing the natural way. And it healed me. So I was fine, for the past 12 or 13 years. About a year ago, actually last January 13th, my birthday, I ended up getting COVID and it triggered a lot of those symptoms again. So from last January to the date, I have had many symptoms where it triggered a lot of the autoimmune responses. So with my heart, I had to go to a cardiologist for a while. With my heart, with my musculoskeletal system, I developed something called POTS, which in a nutshell, it's something about the oxygen that you're getting to your brain and your heart, where you pass out, you have dizzy spells, just everything, digestive, gut issues, everything. It triggered all of that all over again. And so once again, I started back. It took me back to the beginning of my journey 13 years ago, where I worked on healing myself through nature. And so that's what I've been doing for the past year, or since January last year, just doing what I've always done, through juicing, through detoxing, through cleansing, and just really resetting my body and just really trying to correct what that COVID did to my cells. And still on that health and wellness journey and wanting to make an impact on the community. I did not want to share my journey from last January to this year when I got COVID, because I felt ashamed, because most people look at me for health and wellness tips, ideas, and guidance and coaching. And so in my mind, I thought, well, gosh, I'm sick. How can I be a good representation of healing if I'm sick again? But I realized, and it reminded me of 13 years ago when I was healed, that being a vessel means that I also have to go through something to share with others. And if I don't experience it, how in the world can I sympathize, show empathy, or have compassion for other people who are going through? And so I always used to tell people, a story untold does not help anyone. And so I decided to share my journey again, from last January to now, because I know there's someone else that's going through it, that's gone through it, and may feel the way that I feel. But no, you still are an example. You can still be an example of what healing looks like, because you're sharing your journey.
Right. Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, when I was diagnosed, my kids was like, what? Who? The lady that reads all the ingredients labels at the grocery store.
Exactly.
I will say I am the most health conscious out of everybody in my family. So for me to get a stage 3 breast cancer diagnosis was like, huh?
Yeah.
What? And so, when I was diagnosed, I was just like, of course, the first day I was like, oh my gosh. But then when I woke up the second day, I was just like, okay, God, I see what you're doing here. And I know it's just going to be me and you. You're going to carry me through this. I'm going to get to the other side. And I know that it's to help other people. I know that for a fact, right?
Yes.
And just like you said, how can you say that, you're health conscious and you can help people heal, and you haven't even gone through anything to heal yourself? So I just, held on to that belief that, okay, this is my way to show that, hey, I can heal my own body, and I'm going to go through some things because I have to learn some things to be able to help other people. And so that's the way that I looked at it. And it's been an interesting ride. I have learned a lot, and I'm going to continue to learn. We're going to continue to learn. You don't just go through something and just be like, I'm healed. It's going to be a continuous journey until we transition and move on to the next stage in this eternity, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, but I felt the same way that you did. Not necessarily ashamed, but like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I do all these healthy things. But
Yeah.
then when I learned, the more that I learned, I'm like, wait a minute, I wasn't living healthy at all. Because I used
Hmm.
to say, okay, I eat about 80% clean and then the rest I eat, whatever.
Yeah.
But that 80% clean was really not clean now that I know the things that I know.
Hmm.
And, the doctors were like, well, just imagine if you didn't do all the things that you were doing.
Hmm.
And then you came to us like the chemo could have probably been a harsher hit.
Yeah.
Because,
Exactly.
once I found out, like I said, I did a 3-day water fast. I did 40 days of just raw fruits, raw vegetables.
Hmm.
I left, went to the Alternative Cancer Treatment Center in Tampa, which they told me to get back eating meat, which I wish I didn't, but it's okay
Yeah. It's okay.
because I really need to keep going through that cleansing process, like really cleansing my body. And I think adding the meat back really slowed me down, but it's okay. You live and you learn, right? Then I
Mhm.
came back. And by the time I got back, I was just still trying to figure out, am I going to do chemo? Because the alternative treatment was just too expensive. And as we know, the
Yeah.
health insurance does not cover that, right? And
Right.
so, so I just had to figure out what I was going to do. I didn't feel like I knew enough to
Mhm.
like heal myself at that point. So I ended up doing chemo. Now, it was 4 months before I started chemo. And when I started chemo, I had like no side effects,
Wow.
little to no side effects.
Hmm.
And as a matter of fact, the day that I started chemo, I got results from my second opinion doctor that had proven that the tumor had shrunk some.
Hmm.
Although the regular doctors was like, oh no, we think it got bigger. You should have just
Yeah.
started out with chemo, blah, blah, blah. But it actually showed that it actually got smaller. So what I was doing was working.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
decided to just go straight with the chemo, did that, and I mean I had so much energy.
Hmm.
I was still jogging, lifting weights, just I have to say the only side effects that I had was yes, my hair was shedding. So I said, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna completely lose it, but I'm gonna go ahead and just shave it all off.
Hmm.
I was wearing this cap to kind of protect my hair so that it didn't fall out.
Uh-huh.
And it was a lot. It was a lot. I am going to definitely I have videos of my whole journey, so I'm gonna start uploading them so that I could just watch back and I'm probably gonna laugh. But just all the things that I went through and I did, it was a marathon. It was a marathon for sure.
Hmm.
But I look forward to sharing all of that.
Yeah.
And I am healed. I know
Yes.
a lot of people like, oh, so where are you now? Where I am now is actually putting together a team of doctors,
Hmm.
putting together a team of doctors that identify with the type of treatment that I want to have and how I want to continue on my healing journey.
Yes.
I just literally realized that that's what I need to do because going back to the oncologist, going back to, just people in that field, we just don't align. We don't align. And I'm glad that our topic today, we're talking about your energy field around your body, your aura, and your vibration. Because
Hmm.
that's one thing that I focused on heavily when I was going through my treatments.
Yeah.
Um, I just kept my vibration high. Like I was in great spirits. Um, Again, like I said, I was jogging, exercising, dancing. I one time I was getting the chemo. I was like just with the pole, dancing with the pole, while I was getting my chemo. But I just knew that that's what I had to do so that I could heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I know you did some kind of some diving into your energy fields and everything. So talk to me a little bit about what you came across as far as like our energy fields and our aura.
Yeah, so basically, when we think of aura, a lot of people say, "Oh, there's just something about that person." Or have you ever been around people where it's just like when you're around them, if their energy is, let's say, if they're angry, then somehow you can feel that anger and you're angry. Or if they're stressed, you kind of pick up that stress. Energy. You can feel it. It's felt, but it's experienced, and that's
Right.
part of your aura. So your aura is like an invisible, well, seemingly invisible energetic field that's around your body. It's like around the parameter of your whole body. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it extends, some say it extends out about 6 inches out. But basically, it's like an invisible field, like an energy field that's all around us. So everyone has it. Plants, animals, human, all life force has an aura about themselves, or an energy field around them. And so it just radiates, and it radiates light from you. You're like your light body. And so there's actually colors, and there have been scientists who have done demonstrations of it and have tested it with special cameras, and they can see the colors in the aura uh, radiating around a person. And so certain colors are supposed to tell you what your personality is, or what type of energy you have, whether it's you're a healer, or whether it's you have or whatever your energy is. Some colors are more powerful than others, but everyone does have that energetic field all around them. And there have been studies also to show that it does transfer. So you do need to be careful who you share space with, or who pay attention to your environment that you're around. Because think about it, if you have an aura or an energy field that extends about 6 or 12 inches out from your body, if other people are in, or if you're around other people who's emitting or radiating something that's not conducive to what you want, you can pick that negative energy up. So
Yeah.
you can pick that up. And it kind of goes back, Des, to what you were talking about, when you went to your doctor, the last doctor appointment you
That's
went.
what I was just about to say.
You
I was
literally,
just like,
her aura, that doctor had that aura of negativity, of doubt, of
I
fear.
mean, the seed that she planted was just horrible.
Yeah.
And I just imagine how many people she's doing that to, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's already depressed because they got this diagnosis. The word cancer makes everybody so
Yeah.
afraid, right?
Mhm.
Um, but I literally had to grab her hand. She was touching my breast and telling me that she's worried. And I had to grab her to remove her hand
Mhm.
and tell her to stop worrying because I'm not
Yeah.
worried.
Yeah.
And it took me over 2 weeks to shake off what she planted.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so I believe it. I believe in energy fields. I
Mhm.
believe in keeping your vibration high,
Yes.
and just protecting your aura.
Yep. Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, you have to. And like you said, you had to literally, when you left her office, you had to go and do a lot of work, healing work, to heal your mind first, to really
Yeah.
heal your mind, because her energy, she projected that energy through her words, but even more than that, she projected it through her own energy, her own aura, and it
Hmm.
projected onto you, and it was felt, and it was experienced. And so you had to go and literally try to shake that off. And it's good that you did, talking to a therapist, doing.
Yeah, I went to a therapist. My
Yeah.
mind was literally racing. Like I totally forgot all the work that I put in, all the clean eating I was doing, all the infrared sauna I was doing, all the grounding I was doing. I mean, all the working out, the walking 3 to 5 times a day, sitting in the sun for like at least 2 hours a day. Like I forgot everything that I was doing, and all I could think about is this lady saying this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And it
exactly.
was just, I mean, it's just sad. It's
Yeah.
sad. That's what it is. It's sad. But
Yeah.
thank God I know better and I knew better.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
this is not going to work. If I got to go for followers just to check and make sure I'm okay, this is not the person that I need to be going to see to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is asking them to do, I think I had asked her to do like a micro mineral test. I just wanted to see what my deficiencies are, like as far as like my vitamins and minerals. And my primary care doctor said, well, I'm not even sure what test I would order for that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, huh? What?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's something got to be done. That's why I'm talking about it. I'm talking about my journey because although I know some things, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
Um, but when it comes to the holistic space, I might know a lot more than most.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that might not know, I have to share this information. I have
Yeah.
to. I have to
Yeah.
because it's just I just wouldn't want people to go through some of the things that I've gone through, and to at least share what I've learned,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
um, to help maybe their journey.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. Everything that we share. In fact, we were just talking about that earlier. How going back to energy, ev- certain people have an energy that is healing, like a healer, and that's something that you and I share. But a healer doesn't mean that you know everything, that you're perfect. A healer means that you have allowed spirit, source, God, to use your body and your soul as a vessel to give information, to share information, because you're compassionate, you're passionate, you're empathetic, and sometimes because you're tasked with that, it's a gift really, but because that's what you're tasked with in this life, well, sometimes you have to go through things. It's very hard to connect with people who've never been through anything. So if you're talking to somebody about your journey, your breast cancer journey, if someone else had your journey or went through breast, it's going to resonate with them, and they're going to trust you because it's like, wow, she's been through this, and I know she knows what I'm going through, and they're going to feel more comfortable talking to you, connecting with you, and you're going to be able to share your journey. It doesn't mean that it's a perfect journey, but it's not a perfect journey, but your intentions are perfect.
Right.
You're a willing vessel, you're willing to share. So no matter where you are in your journey, whether you're at level 1, level 5, or level 10, wherever you are, somebody out there needs you just the way that you are and just where you are at your journey. um,
Right.
and that's why it's so important that even when you are going through, whether it's cancer, autoimmune diseases, anything that you may be going through in your physical body, it is important to try your best to have a positive outlook, which again goes back to your energy field and your aura. You have to learn how to cleanse your space or heal your aura. Some people call it cleansing your aura. And basically, what that looks like is, if it's raining or outside, or if it's thundering and lightning, you're not going to just stand there in the middle of the lightning and thunder. You're going to get to shelter, and you're going to protect yourself, and you're going to, whether it's an umbrella or whether it's shelter, you're going to protect yourself so that you don't get struck by lightning or hit by rain, or rained on. Well, you have to do the same thing with your light body, your energy, your aura. You have to
Right.
protect your aura. And what that looks like is making sure that you're really sensitive to negativity. You have to pay attention to what you're watching, what you're taking into your ears, even what you're eating, what you're putting in and on your body. And in your case, listening to a doctor, which, I mean, there are amazing doctors out there. I don't want to take anything away from amazing doctors. But in that case, that negativity that came into your energetic space, it could have had the potential to set you back 1,000 steps, and it could have put you in a place of a state of dis-ease again, because
Yeah.
the negativity, and she projected that on you. She projected sickness, she projected illness, she projected dis-ease, and that's not even the case. But
My
then
whole body, literally, I felt the stress from my head all the
Mhm.
way down to my feet
Yeah,
for
yeah,
like a whole day. Like it was really bad. It was horrible. It was
yeah,
horrible. But
yeah. So
thank God I got through that.
yeah,
And that really did help me make the decision to find a team that's a better fit for me.
yeah, and
You
it's
know?
okay. It's so, and that's the thing I want people to know too. It's okay. No matter what you're going through, you have to. It's like a relationship. Your doctor, your communication or your time with your doctors, that's a form of a relationship. So you want to make sure that it's compatible. You want to make sure that you all are on the same path, that you're on the same frequency and vibrating on the same frequency. Because
Right.
if you have an intention of, you know what, I want to continue my healing journey, but I want to make sure that I do it more of the holistic way as opposed
Right.
to the allopathic way, then they're going to know what type of protocol to put in place for you. But if you're
Right.
like, okay, I want these tests done and I want to know this, the natural things, or I want to know my mineral levels, or I want to know if there are any deficiencies in my vitamins because they can cause weird symptoms and it could just be a vitamin deficiency. But if your doctor is saying, no, we're not going to do that, we're going to give you this drug or we're going to give you that drug or run this test. And it's like, well, are they honoring your will or their own will and agenda, you know? So you
Hmm.
do have to find, and I've been through, I've spent thousands of dollars trying to find a good match for me and where I am on my health journey. Because I am very firm on what I believe as far as putting life in my body, eating clean, sleeping well, making sure that there aren't any imbalances or deficiencies, living off of the earth. So my doctor has to align with that.
Yeah.
And if they care about you, then they will. They'll, even if they have to study some things that they're not used to studying, they will, so that they can understand how to care for you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I learned that for sure that
Yeah.
I was like, Des, what are you doing? You keep going back to these people that don't align with how you want to heal. And
Yeah.
so, as a matter of fact, it's not, you know, they don't look at it as healing. They look at it as treating,
Treating. Yeah.
right? So I'm like, Des, what are you doing? So I just was like on a search. Thank you so much for introducing me to Dr. Shelton,
Yes, absolutely.
because I will be seeing her soon. Well, I actually already saw her, and when I say, my friend was like, "Oh, how was it?" I was like, I felt the presence of God there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And instead of her saying, "Oh, I'm worried," because she said, "Well, share your journey with me. Let me know where you are."
Mm-hmm.
You know what she said after I shared my journey?
What did she say?
She said, "I am so proud of you. I am so proud. I can't believe that you've done all that you said that you have done. And I am so proud of you. And we're going to get back. We're going to get to the root of this. We're going to get to the root of why you had the diagnosis." Because told her, that's all I keep asking everyone that I'm seeing is like, I want to get into the root of why I was even diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you do that? You go back by checking your deficiencies, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
What minerals am I off? What vitamins am I off on?
Mm-hmm.
How's my mental state?
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
of that. Am I vibrating high enough? That
Yeah.
I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have to say, before I was diagnosed, I had gone through at least a good 4 straight years of just um, personal stress with relationships, with things going on with, within my family, my daughter, granddaughter. Like, then I had a flip in Greensboro that I was working on since the end of, just right when 2020 started.
Mm-hmm.
I finally closed on that like last year.
Wow.
It went through the whole COVID thing. It went through my whole diagnosis with me. It was just, but I had to deal with these contractors that were not telling the truth, and they just were just doing certain things. And it was just, I had to get an attorney involved. So I was going through chronic stress for a while. So I could see how my body was just, I was not vibrating high. I tell you that. I was holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
I was just trying to shake it off, trying not to really focus too much on everything that was going on. And I'm an optimist. So of course, I'm still going to be cheerful and, smile and be positive. But I had all this stuff weighing me down. So
Yeah.
I just can see the environment that was created there, like just like mentally and physically. And just to top it off with all these other things, maybe just deficient in just certain minerals and vitamins. A lot of us are very heavily deficient in magnesium, right?
Yes. Yes.
And that helps with your whole stress levels as well.
Yeah.
So, and then I found out my vitamin D was low. So, yeah, it's just a whole bunch of discovery, and I'm just glad that um, I'm finding my team now. I'm
Yeah.
finding my team, and it
Absolutely.
feels great. Like I
Yeah.
went to see a doctor in Ghana, a holistic doctor. Gut Care is the name of his practice, Dr. Biney, and he did an iridology reading when I was there, and he said, "Des, I have to tell you right now, you're a very strong individual, and you have to be careful. You got to be careful what you're taking in,
Mm-hmm.
because you'll be really sick and not even know that you're sick." And he said, if I can get to the point where I clean my gut and make sure that I am doing the right food combinations, and I'm making sure that things are assimilating properly in my body, he said, I see another 180 years in ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, okay.
Yeah. I
And
feel
it's so funny. It's so funny because I was like, I want to live to well over 150. I always say that. I always say that to everybody. So to hear him say that, I was like, I'm in the right place.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, vibration, some people might say, well, how do you raise your vibration? What do you do to raise your vibration? So some of the things that I do is I listen to high frequency music, meditations,
Mm-hmm.
words of affirmation. I wake up with the spirit of gratitude. Again, every morning when I get up, I say, grateful, abundant risings. And I feel it. And I just expect that my day is going to be a day of abundance.
Yeah.
Like things are just going to be drawn to me that
Mm-hmm.
I desire. And so that's part of raising my vibration. I don't sweat the small stuff. I don't let little things bother me. If someone has an attitude, I'll ask them, oh, are you okay today? I
Mm-hmm.
don't let stuff like that bother me anymore. And I try to cheer them up and be
Yeah.
like, I understand we have bad days. Let's get past it. You
Mm-hmm.
know. So those are the things that you do to raise your vibration. I love to dance. I
Yeah.
love deep house music. So
Yeah.
that's always going. I actually have to listen to music while I'm working. My
Yes.
sister's like, how do you even do that? I can't concentrate. I'm like, well, I can't concentrate if I don't listen to the music.
Yeah, me too.
But those are the things that keep my vibration high.
Mm-hmm.
Learning to pretty much learning who you are, learning the things that you love to do.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Yeah.
are the things that are going to keep your vibration high. I remember I asked a friend a few years ago, I was like, what's some of your hobbies? What's some of the things that you love to do? And she said, hmm, I don't know. I was like, what? You don't know? So just think about it, guys. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you even go out by yourself? Do you go out to the movies by yourself? Do you go out to eat by yourself? Do you go shopping by yourself? Do you always have to have somebody with you? Because if you do, then you need to reevaluate that.
Mm-hmm.
You need to reevaluate that. You really need to figure out what are some of the things that I love, because life is hard. You're going to go through things, right? Things are going to get you down. But what are those things that you love to do that's going to bring you back up,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And
Exactly.
so that's the way I look at it, to keep my vibrations high. What are some of the things that you do?
It's some of the same. I love music. I absolutely love dancing. I used to be as you know, I owned the dance studio and the smoothie bar for about 8 years, 7, 8 years. I used to teach dance classes. So Zumba, I was a Zumba instructor. And so I love it so much. But this past year of me having the flare ups from with COVID triggering everything, I wasn't able to work out like for over a year. I wasn't even sometimes able to even get up and move. But I have been getting so much better. So I started back going to the gym, and I've been able to start doing Zumba, and it makes me so happy. When I say it, I mean, I am like a different person. I love dancing. I love music, especially Caribbean music and just different
Mhm.
cultures. I don't know a lot of songs like domestic songs. I know a lot of international like music in different cultures and different languages. I love it. Um, I meditate. I love meditating because it kind of helps ground me. And another thing, speaking of which, as far as healing the aura and cleansing the aura, Dr. Shelton, when I had went to Dr. Shelton, I was panicked because at that point I was listening to some of my doctors, and they just could not help me. They just didn't know, like they just couldn't help me. And I'm thinking something is wrong here.
Yeah.
And so by the time I got to Dr. Shelton, I mean, like you said, it's like you feel the presence of God. I sat in the room and I was in tears, I felt like a therapy session, to be honest.
Mm.
And I said to her, I was like, I don't know if anyone can help me. I'm tired of fighting. I'm just tired. And I said, I'm scared. And she was like, I'm not. That's what she said to me. She said, I'm not scared. She said, I'm excited. She said, because
Mhm.
we're going to get, like she told you, we're going to get to the root and we're going to find out what's causing all this and we're going to get you better.
Yes.
And it just to have someone to just encourage me in that way, because when you go to so many different doctors and they are just trying to throw you on medicine, but they don't know what's wrong with you, but they're trying to, oh, take this, take that, without even knowing what the issue is,
Right.
or they gaslight you and make you think, oh, maybe you're just depressed, or are you stressed, or, and I'm like, no, something is wrong here. And it's like it messes with you, it messes with your mind. I mean, it's awful, awful,
Yeah.
awful. So anyways, I started when I went to her and I was talking to her about everything, and she said that, I'm like, wow. And so after I told her, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to the gym and take, because I told her how much I love Zumba. I said, I'm gonna take every dance class, every Zumba class. I said, and when you see me again, I'm gonna be down about 10 pounds and I'm gonna feel better. Excuse me. And even though I had some of the aches and the swelling and the pain, I said, I'm gonna push past it, because my
Mm.
mind, I kept telling myself in my mind, my body is hurting. Oh, if I do too much, my heart rate is gonna go up too fast. What if I have a heart attack? What if I pass out? Or what if this? And I'm just like, you know what? It goes back to really just vibrating high. And so even whenever I started thinking those fearful thoughts, I countered it with positives. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go in this class and I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna make it through the whole class. My heart is not gonna be beating so hard that I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. My breathing is gonna be good. I'm not gonna get dizzy or pass out. I mean, I was just had to tell myself that.
Yeah.
And fast forward, I'm down 10 more pounds.
Yay!
So, but it was mind over matter, and it was speaking life. And that's how I help to, when I'm not vibing on a high frequency, I have to start countering that with just the opposite of what I want to say. So if I'm like, I'm so tired in my mind, out my mouth, I'm like, you know what? I have so much energy.
That's
Even,
right.
you know,
That's
and
what you got to do.
I mean, it's crazy, but you really, I'm telling, it really does work. And if you keep telling yourself these positive things all the time, like think about it, the more you speak, like, I feel good. I don't feel good. Well, guess what? You really start feeling bad because that's all you saying. You're putting a curse on your own life,
Yes.
casting spells with your words. So it's just like,
Yes.
you know what? If I can cast spells, negative spells with my words, I can also produce and create life with my words,
That's it.
you know? So
That's it.
I do
That's
that.
why when I started off my journey, I told everybody that I'm healed.
Yes.
Before I started chemo, I said I'm going on a healing journey.
Yep, exactly. And that's
When
what it
people
is.
like, oh, Des, are you in remission? What's that? What are you talking
Yeah.
about? I'm healed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you have
I'm
to.
very careful and conscious when I say that because my cells are listening.
They
My
are.
body's listening. Right?
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I'm healed.
Yes. Yes. And that's,
I'm,
I mean, and I think that's kind of I guess the message that I would love for people to get is no matter what you're going through, if you focus on vibrating high, changing your energetic field, your energy field, what you're emitting out, what you're radiating. If you can, if someone said to you, if you say that I am healed and you actually get healed, would you say I'm healed? Yeah, you would. You know, if you say, oh my gosh, I'm sick, I'm dying, and if you really was sick, started getting sick and died, like, would you change your words? Yeah. So you really have to think like that. And another thing too, back to what you were saying about just having stressful periods in your life. Sometimes when you have physical health issues or things come up or some dis-ease and imbalances, sometimes it has nothing to do with what's going on physically. Sometimes, a lot of times, it has something to do with what's going on mentally. If you're under a lot of stress, I also spent years just stressed out. Like, that's like a whole different session, but just stressed about everything all the time. So over time, that can cause your body to turn against itself, and it can
yes.
present itself like cancer. It can present itself like an autoimmune disease. Of course, like high blood pressure and other things, cardiovascular illnesses. So your mind, like, there's something like a psychosomatic. They talk about psychosomatic. Like, your body and mind, like, it's like one. Like, if you're thinking bad, your body's going to feel it. Your body keeps score of
Right.
all those times that you're stressed out, bent out of shape. Your body doesn't know if you're stressed out because the light or somebody was speeding, or your body's stressed out because you're being chased by a pack of wolves. It's just
Right.
the chemical response is the same. And so when I went to visit Dr. Shelton, she did a test, which is so amazing because she wasn't so quick to throw me on some drugs. She's like, let's run some tests. So she ran a test. I wish I can remember the name of it, but basically it was to tell the condition of um I had like did something called dysautonomia. So basically you can have a dysregulated nervous system. And so it's like if you're stressed over and over again for a long period of time, like chronic stress,
Mm-hmm.
eventually it's just like your ability to cope is broken. And so now your body responds even if it's not a stressful event. And so it affects your vagus nerve, it affects like your parasympathetic system, your sleep, your digestive system. You start having all these different issues. And what it is, you just have a dysregulated nervous system. Your body is so used to being tense or stressed and responding to stress that it doesn't know what else to do. And you start having all these symptoms as a result. So sometimes if you work on like your mental health, that can help heal your body too. And journaling, that's another way that I try to protect my energetic space. I journal if I'm feeling things that are contrary to what I know to be true about my abundant life. I
Right.
journal it. I write it down. And if it's contrary to what I know about me, I write it down, I get it out, and then I burn it.
Mm.
And that's just symbolic to me that I'm getting rid of it.
Mm.
Um, I have a sometimes, I mean, and this is for just me. I know everybody believe differently, but for me, I have an ancestry altar
Okay.
in my home. And my mom passed away when I was a lot younger. My great grandfather, you know, I have elders in my family, like my grandmother, she's an elder. So I have pictures of them. I have things that they loved. I have, you know, and sometimes I'll sit, I'm looking because it's in my room that I'm looking at now. I have a sunroom with all these living plants. I have pictures of my ancestors and my elders, and just things that bring me peace. I have like incense. I have like just aromatherapy, my plants and things like this. So I'll sit in there sometimes, and my son, he already know. Like even when they come in that room, it's like take your shoes off. They don't go in there with their shoes on. So I sit there sometimes, and it brings me peace. I sit out in my garden sometimes, just, you know, sit outside, and it makes me very happy. I don't even have to sit in the garden. I could sit in my driveway in a chair, but just
Yeah.
feeling the sun.
I'm always in my car just sitting outside.
Yeah. It's just something about being outside. I'm telling you, it is when most people are trying to run in when it's hot and the sun is out. I'm trying to run out.
Me too. Me too. I'm trying to like make sure it's hitting my skin.
Yeah.
And
So,
I love going on my walk over by the rail trail uptown Charlotte. That's like I call it my magical trail because
yeah.
especially on the weekends when there's a farmers market and just different
Mhm.
things going on, I always run into somebody that's
Yeah.
connecting me to the next journey that I'm trying to get to.
Yes.
So I call it my magical trail because a lot of magical things happen.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, look, like now, even just talking about some of these positive things, like I know when I look at you when you're talking, you
Yeah,
smile, and when I'm talking, I'm smiling. So it's energy. It's like a
yeah,
lot of energy, and even just talking. And you know, for anyone that jumps on the call or may listen to it at a later time, you got to find people in your life that's going to bring the best out in you. Find people where you have kind of matching energies, because if you have a day where you're not feeling good, it's always nice to have someone that you know, okay, I know when I talk to them, they're gonna exude so much positivity or so much life
yeah,
that is I can't help but catch it, you know. So you
yeah,
want to be around people, and that's how you are, no matter what you go through, even with from the time that you saw that doctor that was, you know, projecting her negativity onto you. I knew that it was stressing you, because I just know energetically, I know that it was worrying you. I knew
yeah,
you were stressed, even though you might not have said it. I felt it. But I just have to say, like, the way that you handled it was just so beautiful. It is something to be admired for sure, because you was just like, you know what, I'm going to go to therapy. I'm going to start listening to my frequency music. I'm going to start grounding. I'm going to go. And I mean, you were just doing everything you could to counter that. You
mhm,
know, even one night it was late. You were leaving from Winston, I think, and you was just like, okay, I'm good. The gym is open. It was late at night, and you went, you know, and I'm just like, wow. And you walked around on the track, and it was nighttime, and got into the steam room. I mean, just you know, that's what it's about. We're gonna have things to come our way that's negative, or that might be contrary to how we see ourselves, or what we want to, what frequency we want to vibrate on. But you have to have your like tools in your toolbox. Like, okay, if negativity come, I'm gonna have to pull out this tool. If that come my way, I'm gonna have to pull out this tool to protect yourself. Whether it's I'm gonna go talk to my therapist, or for me, sometimes my job can get kind of stressful. So one thing that I have in my little toolbox is, you know what, sunshine. When I feel stressed, I have to get a step away from my desk. I'll go outside, and I will stand outside in the driveway and just feel the sun. You know, I'll walk around in the grass, and I feel better. Um,
right,
you know, I feel better. And there have been times where I would be stressed and I have to take a dance break. I will go and turn on some of my Zumba music, and I will be dancing for like 20 minutes, and I come
mhm,
back feeling really good and energetic, and, you know, have a good day.
yeah.
Um,
And I'm a big kid too, so I'm a big goofball. So
yeah.
my kids be like, "What is going on, Mom?"
Yeah.
They think I am so silly. I'm just a big kid. I'm a big kid at heart. My daughter actually bought me some rollerblades because that's one thing that I really love.
Oh
And
my God.
I had rollerblades for so long and they broke on me a couple years ago, and I just never bought another pair. but my daughter bought me a pair for Mother's Day. So I'm
Oh,
taking, I meant to take them out for a run Saturday, but I was like, okay, I need to go someplace and practice first because I haven't been on them for a
yeah.
while. So I'm gonna go to Freedom Park around the pond first, because at least I know for the most part the pavement is pretty clear.
Mhm.
I didn't want to take them out on the trail because I know there's sticks and stones,
Yeah.
and I ain't trying to break my bones.
Yeah.
So,
Right. You know,
and right, and she's supposed to be getting me some knee pads and elbow pads. I said, if I go on the street, I'm definitely gonna need my helmet, my knee pads,
everything.
because I'm getting older now. Okay, I can't be out here winging it and then falling and then I'm breaking stuff. So
Exactly.
yeah,
You know something funny? I promise you, like I promise if you could see inside my brain, this is honestly when you right before you said rollerblades, I swear in my mind when you said you was like, yeah, I'm a big kid. And immediately in my mind, I said, wow, I want to go roller skating. I promise you. And as soon as I
wow.
said that, you said my daughter got me rollerblades. Like that is so crazy. Like I literally thought that. And then you said it.
Get your skates. Let's go.
I am like, we have to go. I love skating.
We
We need
got to
to.
plan a date where you come out here and you go to all the 3 farmers markets that I go
Then we
to.
go skating.
Then we go skating. That's
Yes.
it.
Oh my,
That's
I
it.
literally, that is so interesting. I literally, when you said I'm a big kid, in my mind, I mean, this is so crazy. I literally said, I want to go roller skating. And then right after that, you said out loud, my daughter got oh gosh.
I'm gonna test them
I
out.
felt
I'm gonna
your
test them
energy.
out tomorrow. I'm going tomorrow. Now I just put them in the trunk. I was like, let me just keep them in the trunk so that if I feel like I want to pull over and go, I can just throw them
Yes.
on
Yeah.
and just throw my headphones on and just be in my zone,
Yes.
just
Yes.
zone out.
But I'll tell you, a lot of times you have no idea who's watching you or who's learning from you, who you're affecting, and who you're influencing or inspiring. And I'm telling you, because you have a lot of people around you at the real estate office, your family, your friends, your children. And even if you never say it, like your energy is felt and it's so you have such a you have a really beautiful energy and
Oh,
it's
thank you.
felt. It is. That's why I was so compelled to send you that message the other day. But it is. And so, like, even just how you handled that one situation with that doctor, and I watched you, even though you didn't realize it, but you were teaching me how to handle my stress or how to
Mm,
handle, something that I was worried about. Because it's always in the back of my mind, like, oh my gosh, this and what's. And just watching you were a perfect example of how to handle life, how to handle this or that. And I really appreciated that. Again, because your energy is so beautiful and you do
thank
have
you.
energy and it's very contagious. So
Thank you. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my job.
yeah. And your kids, I'm sure that, even if they never say it or they may say it, but I'm sure you inspire them just by your lifestyle and just it's not always about when things are going great, but it's how you conduct yourself when things are not great, or you're showing them how to be afraid, but still walking in your light with light.
Conquering that fear.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
just I heard Joyce Meyer, I think, said it a long time ago. She said courage. She was talking about courage. She said courage is not the absence of fear. It is being afraid and doing it anyway. So it's just like, you know
that's
what?
true.
It's
That's facts.
okay. Yeah, it's okay to feel fear, but you can't let that fear conquer you or overtake you. You got to feel that fear and still step out in your warrior, like be a warrior anyway.
Yeah, that's
Step
right.
out and be courageous anyway, whatever that looks like. But yeah. So I guess to everyone, just make sure that your energy, always check your energy at the door. Like when if you're getting up, going on about your day, if you feel like, okay, my energy is a little off, take an assessment of yourself. Just sit and evaluate yourself. Like, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? Don't deny the feeling, feel
Right,
that feeling, but then train yourself how to overcome it, or how to manage it and how to overcome it. But if you
right.
ignore it, you're never going to know how to overcome it because you're just ignoring it, putting band-aids on it. But feel what you need to feel, but train yourself. Okay, I'm feeling like, just like what you did, I'm feeling fear, I'm feeling anxiety, but you knew that. So it's like, okay, what do I need to do to overcome this? And
Yeah.
then you started doing things that you needed to do to overcome it, just to ground yourself and bring yourself back to balance. And I think that's kind of, that's because life is, your life is never going to be absent of trials or tribulations. It's just
Mhm.
like, you know what? This is coming my way. I recognize it for what it is. How do I overcome it so that I can stand on top of this thing and it not stand on top of me?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, yes, that's what it is. And if any of you guys have been diagnosed, if you're going through breast cancer, um, if you just gotten through treatment and you're just trying to figure out, okay, where do I go from here? Because I feel like you go through treatment, right? And
Mhm.
then what? You-
Yeah.
what happens? Because literally they tell you to eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
When I found out and I spoke to the nurse navigator, I was like, okay, so should I switch up how I'm eating? What? Oh, no, you seem healthy. Just keep eating whatever you normally eat. It's just like,
Really? Yeah.
and so it's like when it comes to like the nutrition part,
Yeah, they ain't got
and
it.
then think about it, your body's receiving all these toxins from the treatment, right? What do you do with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you get rid of those toxins? How do you rebuild your body from that?
Mhm.
Um, so those are things that you should think about. And whenever you're feeling any type of fear, just look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how beautiful you are, how courageous you are, how invincible you are, and how healthy and well you are. If
Yes.
you just have to keep saying that over and over and over in your head, just do that.
Mhm.
Every time you feel fear come up, I am healed.
Mhm.
I am healthy. I am well.
Yes.
Just say it over and over and over again until that feeling passes. And I'm telling you, you'll get through it.
Yep, you will. You will. Write yourself an affirmation. I wrote, and I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but because it's long, but just this little bit right here. I read this to myself every day. When I first got sick, um,
Mhm.
it's actually really long, but I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's really long. But the part towards the end, at first I was speaking to my body, and just like, I speak directly to my physical body, every cell, every strand of DNA, every muscle fiber. I mean, like I was speaking to my entire body. But towards the end, I did a declaration, and I said, I did, and it is specific to me. So, but it was like, I decree and declare, I am light, illuminating and shining bright. I am success. All of my desires and dreams will be manifested abundantly. I am a reflection and an embodiment of the divine love and peace personified. I am magic, transmuting all negative energy into high frequencies. I am sacred, set aside for my divine life partner, my king, my protector, my balance. I am a healer, impacting all that is in my presence. I am accepted and more than enough, free to be my own kind of beautiful. I am a co creator with the divine source. I am mentally sound, emotionally balanced, physically healthy, and spiritually conscious. I am who I say I am. Ashe. I wrote
I
that.
love that. I mean, that was a beautiful way to end this healing huddle tonight. That was so beautiful.
Thank
Um,
you.
and yes, this is not crazy, okay? You have to tell, thank you, lungs. Thank
Yes.
you, heart.
Yes.
Thank you, body. Thank you for always showing up for me. Thank you, cells.
Yes.
Thank you for keeping me whole and well. Talk to your body because your cells are listening.
Yes.
That's it. There's nothing else to say after that. Well, we will see you next Sunday for another Healing Huddles.
Yes.
And we do have a private Facebook group. if you're dealing with any type of ailment. I can only speak to cancer and breast cancer, what I've been through. Of course, Misha can speak about what she's been through. But if you want to join our Healing Home group, just put I want in comments. We'll share the link with you. And if you have any questions, if you have anything that you'd like us to discuss, if you're going through this journey, if you have any questions, just ask and I'll share whatever I know. All right.
All
So
right.
until next Sunday, peace, light, love, and healing. I'll talk to you guys later.